Welcome back to Pewdiepie. I'm Zui and I hope you enjoyed today's video. But before we get right into it, I'm obligated to remind you to click either the like or dislike button, commenting something down below, and of course sharing the video so more people can see and enjoy it. This is very important as it helps with the YouTube algorithm. I want you to know that your help is greatly appreciated. If you have any suggestions or ideas for a story, my Discord link is in my link tree that is down in the description, as well as my Patreon and Ko-fi for any donations you may want to send my way. Every cent counts. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed today's video. You slowly nibbled on the broshki your co-worker, a guy everyone just called Terminator, had shared with you. Not over some attraction stuff, but because you just looked absolutely horrible. Something the former military man immediately picked up on. But sadly though, his way of dealing with it was just giving you the rest of his lunch. The broshki was a sweet and soft bun filled with vanilla cream and cherry jam. The man apparently made them himself, in the typical crescent shape. The reason for your terrible appearance was a vice of yours you had picked up in middle school of all things. Truthfully, you never were that smart. But thanks to some political rants your dad had given during car rides, you had quickly picked up on the fact that school was just a random cluster of remembering things. It didn't have anything to do with actually being intelligent. Sadly though, even knowing this trick, it wasn't enough. Day by day, as soon as you came home, you sat in front of your books, staring at letters. Then you started copying the text in the hopes that that would make it stick, having abandoned the practice of mark what's important, as that had already turned your sociology book into a gay pride parade. Being awake for days at a time had thrown your sleep schedule out of whack. Honestly, a part of you had hoped your parents would say or do something to get you to sleep on time, but no. Your school performance, according to them, still wasn't good enough. Well, they weren't wrong. At least that's what you thought at the time. As despite this, you still performed mediocre in school. And despite the fact you had left school years ago, you just couldn't muster up the strength to do anything about your broken sleep schedule. Basically, your schedule made it so that sleep time advanced by about 2 hours every month. So you'd start going to bed at 4 PM, then eventually it would morph into 6 PM, then 8 PM, etc. This broken and unhealthy sleep schedule at first seemed perfect for something like the night guard job at the Fazbear Entertainment Mega Pizzaplex. A job you thankfully managed to get due to the low requirements and decent pay. But that was understandable. Ever since 1987, the Fazbear Entertainment brand seemed to be both cursed and blessed at the same time. Taking financial hit after financial hit, but always through some miracle, like a big donation here or an amazing marketing campaign there. Now that you thought about it, was it even legal for a company to rebrand about 6 to 7 times in a span of just 2 decades? Sadly though, over these past few months, your sleep schedule once again moved. And right now you felt like absolute trash. Your eyes hurt, your body felt heavy, and even the broshki from Terminator tasted like cardboard. You could feel your body shutting down from exhaustion. This would stay for at least 4 months, you thought. The only reason no one at the Pizzaplex had noticed your quick decline in mental health was the simple fact that due to the schedule you had, you basically were on a 4-day vacation. Making the change in your demeanor more obvious as it was no longer gradual to your fellow co-workers. This could not stand. It should not stand. Tired, you looked at the security panel before you. It showed in the form of small red dots on a map where currently security bots were located. Meanwhile, green dots were the Glamrock animatronics. As your vision got more and more blurry, you eventually just closed your eyes, just for a moment. and then slapped your cheeks to the point of them turning red. "No, no," you said to yourself. Rubbing your eyes, you stood up and made simple stretches to get your blood flowing. Safe to say, it didn't work. And despite your blood flow being somewhat normal again, it actually felt worse. That didn't make sense to you, but fine. Sighing, you looked at your security tablet. 11 p.m. 11 p.m.? You shouted angrily. You could have sworn just 5 minutes ago it was at least 2 a.m. No, you were losing your mind, right? That couldn't be. Grunting, you accepted it and walked outside of the security office to go on patrol. Goddamn patrols, you thought. The cheerful halls of the Fazbear Entertainment Mega Pizzaplex hurt your eyes. Despite most lights being turned off for the night, it still was bright. A little too bright for your tired eyes, combined with the long, winding hallways. You furrowed your brows, but you kept pressing on. Your mind surely just playing tricks on you. You don't remember the hallways being winding and that long. Slowly you rounded a corner and entered into Bonnie Bowl. You stared down the long alleys. All the pins stood erect and ready for tomorrow. Now looking to your left, your eyes fell onto the Bonnie Bowl diner. Maybe just sitting down for a minute. That wouldn't hurt, right? You placed your head on the table you were sitting on, vaguely staring in the direction of the small performer stage that had been used by Glamrock Bonnie. You furrowed your brows, noticing movements behind the curtain, but too tired to actually check. You watched as 2 clawed feet appeared from under the red velvet. Your eyes widened with fear, but then you quickly shut them, pretending to be asleep. The noise of moving fabric was followed by heavy animatronic footsteps. Curiously, ever so slightly, you opened your left eye. The shape that was slowly approaching you was that of a rabbit animatronic. But wasn't Bonnie decommissioned? Its movement seemed more human than robotic. Its shell withered, broken and rotten. You gulped, hoping the thing didn't notice you were still awake. It stopped right in front of you. Suppressed the tears that were building up behind your eyes. It couldn't be. Bloody flesh twisted around exposed endoskeleton bits. A human jaw grinned at you from beneath the bunny top half of the head. Its purple glowing eyes were staring at you with anger and pain. You wanted to scream and run, but you were paralyzed with fear. It raised its clawed metal fleshy hand and slowly moved it towards your face. And just before your skin touched its, you awoke, screaming, covered in sweat. Your eyes were still closed as the vision of the bunny quickly faded. After 10 seconds passed, you fell back onto something soft.
Night guard?
Asked a familiar metallic voice. Surprised, shrieking, you crawled backwards and suddenly fell, hitting your head hard on grimy floors.
Night guard,
said the voice more concerned. Yes, I am Night Guard, you growled, and looked around. You were in parts and services. Above you was the flickering broken lamp that engineer Kevin wanted to replace for like 3 weeks now. In front of you, the air mattress day shift guard Brian had placed down there. It was damp and hot in here. It smelled of oily rags, dust, and you sniffed just to make sure. Lavender? Where did that come from? Finally, you noticed the 2 red glowing orbs sitting atop a metal workbench.
Night guard, go back to sleep.
That was the daycare attendant. The hell was he doing here? You groaned. The panic was gone, and your eyes felt heavy again. At least until realization hit you. Wait, how did I get here? Once again you were on alert, but the robot just jumped off its spot.
I dragged you here, Night Guard.
Dragged? You felt violated. And you seriously slept through that? Wait, when did you fall asleep? So many questions.
Analyzing.
The hell was he analyzing?
Response calculation completed.
For a moment the robot went silent.
You fell asleep at security desk number 3 near Roxy Raceway during the blackout where my system activates. I discovered you on my patrol, just lying on it like a baby.
His faceplate turned upside down, like he was mocking you.
So tired, you didn't even awake when I pulled you down from your chair and dragged you over to parts and services to have your nap time. But
the robot put a finger on his chin as he returned his face to its normal position.
I believe it wasn't really just a simple nap you were taking. Am I right? It was a full-on rest, correct? My system at least interpreted it as such, and that's why I was able to bring you here instead of my daycare.
You nodded. Yeah, that checked out. Moon was designed to collect unruly children who broke the nap time rule and put them back into the daycare. And according to its programming, a nap was different from a full-blown sleep.
But
Shouted the robot in an almost offended tone as he raised both hands.
then you screamed at me just when I was getting quiet here. Why did you scare me like that, Night Guard? Were you awake the entire time?
You blinked. Then no, I had a nightmare. The robot blinked.
Nightmare? Nightmares. They are a result of stress and anxiety. So does major changes in one's life, such as death or moving to a new place. But my records don't show any moving or deaths in your family.
You furrowed your brows. Wait, what?
Oh, yes. Fazbear Entertainment knows everything about its employees. After incidents such as redacted, and especially redacted.
You blinked. Yeah, redacted. Sure.
You signed the contract, Night Guard. Your fault for not reading it.
The robot crossed his arms. Was he offended? No, I read it. I'm not surprised. I just didn't immediately make the mental connection.
Okay then, it's fine. Nightmares can also result from having taken too much information on during the day, such as blinking lights and loud noises.
You yawned and crawled back up on the air mattress. Please just shut the fuck up. The robot inquired. Lying on your stomach, you huffed. I'm gonna get fired for this, aren't I? You murmured.
No, you won't.
Huh?
Analyzing failures. Failures detected. Comparing to employee profiles. Probability of employee firing, 10%.
Immediately you felt a surge of energy run through you. Wait, what?
I nearly compared your performance with that of other employees. You are a good employee, Night Guard. Just one bad night won't lead to you being let go.
You fell back on the mattress. Yeah, sure. That might be the case now, but what if this stays up for 4 months?
Calculate.
You interrupted him by snapping your fingers. Hey, I said shut the fuck up. The robot growled. And you sighed in response. I'm so tired. The robot approached you and sat down next to the mattress.
It is past your bedtime, but I am programmed to not remind adults of that.
You sighed. Booney. Let me Let me tell you a story. Over the next 20 minutes, you told the machine about your childhood, about your sleep issues, your less than favorable parents, and about the nightmare you just had.
Well, I have an idea. 2, in fact, you could say. I ran 2 calculations.
Without warning, he took your hand. Giving up, you allowed him to just simply drag you outside through the atrium and into Bonnie Bowl. What are you even doing, Moon?
Defeating one's fears. One has to face them.
Oh, God, you thought. He must have interpreted your nightmare in a way that he thought you were afraid of the Bonnie Bowl stage. How oddly cute. It actually made you blush. Swiftly pushed you in front of the Bonnie Bowl stage. As you stood there, he climbed on top of it and vanished behind the curtain.
Holy!
He shouted suddenly. What?
There is!
Your heart skipped a beat. And then, he ripped the velvet cloth open.
There's nothing here!
You face-palmed. Yeah. Woohoo. Fear beaten. Ugh. What next? His faceplate made 2 turns. He was exhilarated by your response.
Now, we prepare you.
He jumped off the stage and raced towards the bar.
What coffee do you like? Or want?
I'm not a coffee person.
Please.
You narrowed your eyes. You felt challenged, and he definitely wasn't prepared. Quad long short grande in a venti cup, half cup, double cup, no sleeve salted caramel, mocha latte with 2 pumps of vanilla substitute, 2 pumps of white chocolate mocha, for mocha and substitute 2 pumps of hazelnut, for toffee nut, half whole milk, and half brave, with no whipped cream, extra hot, extra foam, extra caramel drizzle, extra salt, add a scoop of vanilla bean powder with light ice, well stirred, and of course, I expect full employee discount.
We serve food here, ma'am.
He ended up making you a simple black coffee with a bit of sugar in it. Why coffee anyways? You asked.
You need to stay awake. I know it's kind of ironic.
You blinked. Okay?
Yes, awake! Why do you look so confused?
You furrowed your brows. And he giggled.
Think about it. When you sleep now, you will have difficulty sleeping at home, continuing the cycle of self-abuse.
He truly was watching out for you, was he? That was sweet of him. You kinda wanted to give him a hug. The 2 of you then proceeded to the daycare. Using the security office, you made the place go dark, so he wouldn't revert to his sun mode. Alright. How do you want to keep me awake now? He shrugged.
I never thought I'd get this far.
You chuckled. Alright.
Let me see. You need to stay up for 1 more hour, until the morning prep begins.
You blinked. It was already this late?
And also you need to relax just a tiny bit more, so you can actually sleep when you get home.
I get what you're trying to do, thank you, but...
No buts.
The daycare attendant jumped on your desk to look at your face.
We need to get you in the right mood for driving and sleeping.
You deadpanned. And how am I going to do that,
By not sleeping now, by relaxing, by taking a long and hot shower, and then sleeping like a log.
Taking a long and hot shower actually sounded kinda nice. For the rest of the hour, Moon set up the finger paint station, which, at first, you rejected. But you were getting bored, and would have definitely fallen asleep in the dark daycare. So you gave up. You hadn't drawn with finger paint since you were a toddler. You'd completely forgotten how much innocent fun this was. Damn, being an adult was annoying. A light suddenly flooded from the daycare entrance. Oh, it's the morning prep, you said. you actually managed to get me to calm down while not falling asleep. The robot jumped up and respectfully bowed.
I am programmed to do this.
You crossed your arms. I don't even know why anyone would complain you're creepy. His face turned upside down.
To tell you the truth, me neither. All of us animatronics have been fine-tuned for child and grown-up entertainment.
You furrowed your brows. Is there really nothing that could be the case? The robot went deeply into thought.
Yeah, come to think of it, there was a certain period of me being deactivated. But, according to employees and cameras, I was actually active.
Then that must be it. A glitch?
But I have no access to the files on my system, so I don't know. I just woke up one day in a burning pizzaplex after a normal night. Glad I survived, thanks to the DJ.
This certainly was weird. Hey, you said suddenly. I feel really heavy and incredibly drowsy. But before I go, you said as you stood up, I wanted to thank you.
Huh?
Quickly, and before you could object, you embraced the machine. And you finally realized where the lavender smell came from. Somewhere behind Moon's chest plate was a small vaporizer that spread the smell of lavender. You didn't even know he had the capability of that. Moon's large hands gently sat down on your back.
This is nice. You are nice. I like it when night guards are nice to me.
Aren't night guards usually nice? You murmured behind his head.
Terminator treats us like robots. He isn't wrong with that. But also not like robots who feel. He just calls us machines and expects us to work. At least he doesn't hurt me. He just wants us to stay in our rooms. It's boring, but by the books, I guess. Brian very rarely does night shift since the fire. But he is lazy. I tell you, lazy. He doesn't do anything with us. It's also boring. And Vanessa, access denied.
You furrowed your brows. Access denied?
I don't have access to the employee file.
He was just as surprised as you were. You pondered it for a moment. Vanessa was the one human victim of the fire. Maybe that's why they redacted her file. To sweep it under the rug from customers and employees. It's fine. It's fine. Don't think too much about it. Finally, you let go of the robot.
I feel warm and fuzzy,
hummed the robot. With your tired eyes, half-lidded, you just replied, Keep acting nice and there's more where that came from. It sounded like every guard had their own little idea on how to deal with the quirky robotics. But as long as it worked, there was no need to object. Today's video had been suggested by Discord user Vincent. Thank you for your suggestion, and if you have any suggestions, please remember to join my Discord and post something in my submissions tab. I hope you enjoyed today's video and remember to share it around so more people can see it.